players on defense last season.
17 of their top 20 defensive players were gone.
Yeah, so that leaves an opening, and he showed promise at kick return coverage and had his first varsity interception last year, so did play some varsity ball. They're going to be going at it, and what better matchup for two brothers when one's quarterback and one's corner?
Yeah. So what happens if he gets an interception?
I told him to celebrate hard.
It's going to be interesting on the drive home.
Yeah, no, that drive home is going to be interesting. I think luckily they're going to be taking probably two separate cars,
You know, and it never happens because usually you think brothers play on the same team, but like you said, there was a situation where Trayson Bourget, I mean, the writing was on the wall. He's only a sophomore last year that he's going to be the quarterback, and he came in and basically when he was eligible after transfer from Marana, he became the cornerback. So it was a smart move to make the transfer to Iron Ridge if he wants to play right away. So that's why that's happening. A lot of people are like, why are they at different schools? That's why.
And for Ironwood Ridge, they had a promising season. I believe they finished 5-5 or 6-4.
They were in the playoffs. I think, yeah.
Either 5-5 or 6-4. I can't remember, but they were in the playoffs. They have a lot of talent coming back. I know they have a tight end that the team has been calling Baby Gronk. I don't know how accurate that is, but we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah.
So they're going to be right. I think they're going to be right in the playoff hunt again this year at South Point with the new regime, new coaching staff, new players. It'll be interesting to see how they do. That's going to be a great game, though, at Ironwood Ridge, September 11th.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely be there for that one.
Yes. There's two teams from Tucson that weren't shy with their scheduling. Cienega.
Yeah.
They're playing Sunrise Mountain, and they're playing at Campo Verde. Both those teams went to the playoffs last year. They're both Phoenix area teams. So that's Pat Nugent. He's not going to duck anybody, and I think that helps the kids in the long run. Look what happened last year. They started out 1-2, something like that. Two of the losses were to the Phoenix teams. They came on strong. They ended up beating one of those Phoenix teams that beat them during the year. So he understands that a tough early schedule will help in the long run by getting the kids ready. So Cienega, hats off to Cienega. The other one is Mountain View and Ironwood Ridge. Ironwood Ridge plays 3 Phoenix teams: Ironwood, Desert Ridge, and Campo Verde, all great teams. So the other one though is Mountain View. Mountain View's schedule is it's like if they're able to get to the first half of the season and they have players left, because they play they play Marana, the opener, and no disrespect to Marana, but they're building there, so Mountain View's more established right now. But after that, Mountain View plays at Sunrise Mountain, playoff team last year, at Saguaro, playoff team last year. They host Millennium, playoff team last year. They go to Cienega, playoff team. So that's the first half of the season. That is crazy.
And you mix in South Point in that as well.
Well, they play South Point. I don't think they play South Point in that stretch.
Not in that stretch, but later in the season, they play
stretch,
South Point. So I mean, that's a gauntlet of the schedule.
Yeah. So I texted Matt Johnson, the Mountain View coach. I go, guys, you guys are going to. It's a tough schedule. And his response was, "It's all good." Because you know what? I think the kids get up for those games. I mean, they're kids. I mean, and why not? The experience that they'll get from that will help them out more than a clock runoff game. Some games I felt bad for Bijan and Lathan Ransom last year. Matter of fact, I felt bad for every game where they had to sit on the bench the last half of the game. I mean, that's tough. The parents, I knew that's who the parents raised.
Yeah, and I think the old saying applies to this: is iron sharpens iron. You play the best to be the best. If you're playing a bunch of cupcakes every year and then you go to the playoffs and get blown out, what good does that do for anybody?
Right.
So I'm excited for Mountain View's schedule. And I'm sorry, they don't play South Point. I was thinking of Cienega playing South Point this year.
Yeah, Cienega plays South Point.
So that's going to be
the opener, right? I think it's a home opener for.
It's at South Point.
It's the home opener for South Point because South Point plays at Iron Ridge and then they play Cienega.
So that's one of those games that I'm excited to see because we haven't seen that game for a very long time.
And I'm taking Cienega now. We'll take it now. Mark that due date. I'm taking Cienega in that game. Sienega's going to be good next. They have seven of their returners starting on defense. It was a really good defense. And Hunter Slagle, the defensive lineman, is coming back. That guy was a beast last year.
He had how many times? I forget, but he was in the running for our Defensive Player of the Year at the end of the season.
Yeah, they had a lot of good guys in that. Then Dylan Silva's back. He was their top tackler. Then Dylan Silva. He's more like a linebacker, defensive end. But yeah, they don't write off Cienega because I don't know why you would write them off anyway. They're
one of the best programs historically in Arizona.
A lot of people think that so they lost some offensive talent the last couple of years, but they're going to be a good team. And then one big name of local interest with U of A is South Mountain playing at Sunnyside on August 28th. Do you know why?
South Mountain.
South Mountain playing at Sunnyside on August 28th.
Why is that?
Byron Evans. You know Byron Evans?
Oh, that's right. He's the new coach there.
Yeah, you're too young to remember Byron Evans. Or Brian Evans. But I grew up watching that guy. He was an animal. I think he was the best tackler Arizona's ever had.
Well, I was going to say one of the top linebackers in U of A history.
I think Ricky Helling's the best player overall because what he meant to the program and how he brought national attention, being an All-American, being an NFL draft pick, a high NFL draft pick, like number 7 overall. He's the best player Arizona's had, but the best tackler is Byron Evans. Even though Ricky Helling has the Arizona record for tackles, he was although he was a great athlete, he was tenacious. He's going to be coaching South Mountain this year for the first time, his alma mater, and they play at Sunnyside on August 28th. I can imagine a lot of his former teammates there at Sunnyside.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, you're probably going to see like the Hunleys there. You're going to see Julius Holt there.
Probably
David Adams.
Brandon Sanders will most likely be there.
Yeah, there weren't teammates, but they're the U of A players. But David Adams, obviously, because Sunnyside and he played with Byron Evans.
Maybe Chuck.
Chuck Cecil. If Arizona's home that week, well, it's August 28th, so they have. I don't think they play yet at that point.
Yeah, I think they start in September, so they should be good to go.
Tucson High plays at South Mountain, but that's it. It's not years, but. Yeah, I mean, you can tell that we're getting giddy about high school football, even though we don't know if it's going to be played or played on time. We just need sports.
Yeah.
So we're going to this extreme where we're having a show with face masks.
Yeah. One team, that we didn't mention in any games, but, they had a freshman quarterback last year, is Sunnyside. I think Sunnyside is going to be extremely competitive this year. They might push towards the playoffs.
Well, yeah, they have Dan Conde back. They have a couple of their top receivers back. Glenn Posigan coach, and it was really his first year back last year after being at Pima. So he's he's getting the kids that will want to play with him. He told me frankly, I had to let go of some players that would have helped him out last year because of attitude. So he cleaned house, and once you get your system down and players buy in, and it's a lot better. They struggled last year. They lost a lot of. If you remember, we talked about it in our shows. They lost a lot of games where they were right in it, and then they just in the second half it just fell apart because they didn't have depth, they didn't have the numbers. I mean, they took Campo Verde up there. They were tied with them at halftime, up in the first game of the year, and they lost that game. And Campo Verde was one of the top, 10, 15 teams in the whole state. So they were right there with a lot of the games, and this was Posey's first year.
And I remember growing up when Sunnyside won the state championship. I think what was that, 2003, 2004 area. But
Richard Sanchez.
Yeah, Richard Sanchez. And just Tucson high school football is better when Sunnyside is good, when they're relevant. That's one of those programs.
With Amphi.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Amphi too, but Amphi has been dormant really since freely. Mendebal's he's starting to get it going there too. He's a good coach. He's got over 100 wins. So yeah, I remember those. You were too young for this, but the Sunnyside Amphi rivalry was like the best. I mean, it drew overflow crowds. It was that was the rivalry in Tucson. Now, what do you think the rivalry is with Tucson?
Okay, I'm biased, and we didn't mention it during this time. I grew up here on the east side of town. Saguaro Sabino.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention the schedule.
That's one of the games I'm always excited for. You know, I went to Arizona College Prep Academy, so I didn't go to either school.
What was their rival?
Well,
The second team?
yeah, ourselves basically. 175 students, you play yourselves,
Do
right?
they have football there?
No, we didn't have
okay.
football. No, we had flag football for a year. But anyway, you know, Sabino, Saguaro, I grew up close to Saguaro, so I always wanted them to win when I was a little kid. But, you know, now covering games and getting to know players, I mean, both sides just have some great people involved in that rivalry game. You know, we saw a blowout, I believe, last year with Saguaro blowing out Sabino. The year before that was a close game that Saguaro won. So it's time for Sabino to reinsert, you know, hey, we're here because it's back-to-back wins for Saguaro.
Sabino has AJ Skaggs, who's he's kind of one of the best quarterbacks in the state, not only the city but the state. Ryan McBrayer's a heck of a coach. Scott McKee's a heck of a coach. That's going to be at Sabino on September 18th. So circle your calendars. One interesting thing about Saguaro's schedule this year is they play their first 4 games at home.
Yeah.
Then they play 5 games on the road, and then they play last game at home against CBO.
Yeah, they got through a big stretch on the road.
I asked Steve Bodkin about the DAD, and he said they're trying to see if some teams can switch, because that's like a month and a half that they're not at Saguaro from like the middle of, let's say the middle of September to the very end of October.
That's like a Pac-12 schedule.
Yeah, 4 games at home, 5 on the road, and then 1 at home. That's tough. That 4 games at home to start the year is great, but can you imagine just the thought of like, oh my God, now we have to play 5 games.
Especially if losses pile.
Yeah, if they have to lose 1 or 2 of those games, then
because once you lose one and then you lose another, then it can start to snowball.
Yeah. Well, see, maybe it's still early. They might be able to switch some where they can play a couple of those early games at home on the road, and a couple of those games in the middle of the schedule on the road at home. So.
And what, just to wrap it up here, what players would you put on a watch list? Maybe 2 players that you'd watch out for this season if you're a Tucson high school football follower.
Definitely AJ Skaggs. He has a chance, I think, to reach 6,000 per yards, something like that. He could possibly break the 3,000 yard passing mark if he let us just pass all over the field. Serge Bowe at Desiview. We didn't talk about Desiview. They have Carlos Arbizu and Serge Bowe. They both rushed for more than 1,000 yards. I think combined they were like 2,500 yards last year. So just imagine if they only had a 1-back, one of those guys would have rushed for like Bijan numbers almost.
Yeah.
Probably not, but Bijan's Bijan. But yeah. But yeah, the Serge Bowe, Carlos Avizo at Desert View. I could probably go through a long list of players. Stevie Rocker at CDO. Who else? Saguaro's got a couple of good guys. Gassaway, Junior Gassaway is going to be a heck of a talent.
Is Davis back, or was that his?
No, he was a senior last year.
He was a senior,
yeah.
That was right. Okay.
Yeah, so he's a great athlete, Gassaway is. I'm probably missing a lot right now because it's so early, but yeah. AJ Skaggs right now is the player to watch, in my opinion. Because Cienega, we talked about Hunter Slagle and Dylan Silva. Buena has Keon Taylor, a sophomore. He led the whole Southern Arizona season last year as a sophomore. Granted, Giovanni Morbone is not going to be back, but he's going to get some Division I attention. I watched him play last year. He had like a 94-yard touchdown catch and like almost 100-yard kickoff return, something like that. Great athlete.
Go ahead.
No.
I agree with your list. I have 3 players that you named 2 of them already. AJ Skaggs, how can you not name him? I mean, phenomenal quarterback. And a lot of those games, you put up the yardage, you put up the touchdown numbers. There are some of those games where he barely missed a long bomb here, a long bomb there, 30-yard completion here. So if he gets his timing down during this offseason, he works on his time, I mean, sky's the limit for this kid. Stevie Rocker, who's going to be that next top back in Tucson, and right now Stevie Rocker looks to be the guy, but you have Sergio over at Desert View. But Stevie's got, I believe, an offer from Arizona. If I remember correctly, they did invite him out there for an official visit, so I don't know if it's an offer. I know Washington's running back coach was out there during the game this season, so he's going to be really interesting to see, especially coming off of his injury right before the season last year. And then Sebastian Adamski from Walden Grove, the linebacker.
Tackling machine.
Yeah, he's a tackling machine, and this offseason he's been putting in a lot of work at his pass coverage.
Yeah.
So if the linebacker can cover in the passing game and just slam people up front, that's virtually unstoppable.
Yeah, they have some good coaching there on
Oh,
defense.
yeah.
So they do lose a lot of players.
The Lopez twins.
Yes, and forgot the guy's name. Escapes right now. Avalar.
Yeah.
Rick Avalar.
Another good linebacker.
He had like 17, 18 sacks last year.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah.
I think he had almost 150 tackles too.
Yeah, he was a machine. I think he's walking on at a D1 school, like a preferred walk-on. Can't remember where. But yeah, there's going to be some players that will come out of nowhere. Like nobody knew about Serge Boulay last year, and everybody knew about him by the end of the year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I hope there's a season. I hope things change where we feel comfortable enough where there can be a season with practice that should be happening within just over a little bit over a month. I don't know. It's not too reassuring right now, but you just got to hope and that it comes true. I've talked to some of the administrators in TUSD, and they weren't too confident about it happening on time. They were confident about a season happening, but not on time, which leads me to believe that they might go to just a 5-game schedule and play just the region games, which would be starting at the end of September. So we'll see. That would practice would start at the beginning of or mid to late August.
Well, we'll see how it all plays out. Like you said, hopefully there will be a season. Maybe it will start in time, maybe it won't, but it looks like we're getting a little bit closer, but all we can do is hope at this point. So thank you for joining us. I am Troy Hutchison alongside Javier Morales. Hopefully we'll be back soon, but stay safe and we'll see you next time.